journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold, first responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold, first responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold, first responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold, first responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet. From the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride. With McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet. From the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chomp's crew, come join the ride. With McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow. Faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set. Let's take the leap, our best quest yet. From the first.
The following episode of Beyond the Quest is recorded live and presented unedited. That means you're going to hear it exactly as it happened, raw, real, and in the moment. As such, you may encounter raw and unfiltered moments, technical hiccups, or spontaneous conversations. You're going to hear from real-life first responders and people of the Christian faith. The views and opinions expressed by the host and guest are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of our sponsors, partners, or the group Slim Chance Gaming. Listener discretion is advised, and we thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Good morning, everybody. As you can see in the chat, Moonpie and Mander's having troubles.
Yep.
What's up, all you questers?
I'm really confused because Mander's talking in the chat. Moonpie's in our chat. We can't hear Moonpie.
They're slackers. They forgot they went to a different time zone and forgot about us.
Oklahomians.
Forgot about all of us average
people.
simple folk.
Had to call them, wake them up. How sad.
Wow. Call them out a little bit, why don't you?
That's how we do on this show.
No rest for the wicked. We are in separate rooms. He's out there somewhere trying to get this thing going. It doesn't surprise me I'm going to say this, but has he plugged in the headphones? It's just an idea. In the meantime, Taco, remember how I told you we were
user disconnected from your channel.
dilly-dallying with tumblers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said you had made a couple to try. Ooh, pretty.
Slim Chance Gaming. It looks pretty, don't it?
It does.
Then, there's another one here. Ugh. Here you go, Mander. Look at this one.
Ooh.
Ew. It's got a pretty flower. I am beautiful, smart, strong, talented, powerful, enough. Yeah, you might not want that one, Mander.
It's also got animal print in it.
Oh, but yeah, those are a couple of the test runs we have done.
Nice.
Shout out Napkins there in his shiny head. Ah. Is that a Moonpie trying to get in here still?
Trying. And he's trying to use the chat on the group call instead of the TeamSpeak.
Mander says she's going to kick my butt.
Hang on, I'll be... Well,
We have an OB doc from
User in your channel
Oklahoma.
is recording.
That's interesting. Good morning, Angervet Nation. How are you all? For those that don't know, they are back in the main office now, correct?
They are.
Yep.
Even their servers are back in the main office.
They are back up and running.
Yeah, Moonpie's trying to talk to us in the shared call here, even though we all mute the speakers and mics in the shared call.
Is he?
Yep. He's back in TeamSpeak.
He's waiting on
Still not
napkins,
here.
I believe. Napkins, fix me. How is Oklahoma? Mediocre Mander. By the way, hope everybody had a really good Easter weekend. There's naders everywhere. Hey, I saw a video on the Facebook, right?
On the Facebook?
On the Facebook. And these people driving on the road, they don't care. But they just, they're filming it. And these naders out west and yonder ways, buddy, them's big naders. Them got tigers in them storms. 7 miles wide, and it just, let's drive on past it. They look really cool, though.
Yeah, Napkins, you might have to end up calling Moonpie to straighten this out.
I texted him.
I totally thought he was going to be like, no, I'm good.
You had to do it every other time he can figure it
They're
out.
horrible here. There's one every night. Good Lord. Then why do you all love it so much? That makes no sense to me. Tornadoes are horrible here. There's one every night. People getting spun around and cows flying. How do you get sleep?
Ugh.
What's them little baby things that hang above a crib that spin in a circle?
Oh, Mobile.
Yeah, they just imagine as they're spinning. That's what they're watching.
Because there's people getting saved, duh.
I'm sure there's people in other states with no naders that might get safe too.
We just pray real good and drift off.
Or maybe you don't sleep at all, and that's why Mediocre Moonpie overslept.
Didn't have his computer charged or nothing.
The no sleep struggle's real. I know.
That is possible. For once, I had the exact opposite. I went to sleep at like 8:30 last night and slept until 6 this morning.
We are just killing some time, y'all, waiting on Moonpie to figure out his situation, or Napkins to fix his situation one.
Daggone.
Maybe it was where Napkins moved his head a while ago. Chad the bear behind him, I could have swore moved a while ago, and I about was not on this podcast. I thought he was trying to prank me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Not now. It went too smooth last week. I had to struggle this week.
Yes.
She knows.
To be fair, last week he was awake on time, though.
Oh.
User disconnected from your channel.
He went bye-bye.
You know, I have to say,
Anyways.
this shirt that you made for me is really comfy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Minus.
Minus. Alright, pal, what's your name? Manus Music? How do you spell that? M-U-S-I-C? No. We need you to back up to that other name.
My head, it was still like 3 in the morning when you called, so I immediately started panicking. Well, I was really confused because I messaged last night and it was like I don't know, almost 2 a.m. here. And he responded to it. And I was like, why is he awake? Come on, Chad. I mean, Napkins.
It's a good one.
Eventually, he's going to have to break down and get something newer than a laptop from, I don't know. How old is that laptop, Mander? Like 13, 15 years old?
It is at least 10, if not more than that.
It's old. I knew that.
Decrepit. Quit describing me, Mander. I don't appreciate it.
We're missing Chad this morning. That's what it is. Hey, I will say, everybody needs to drop some Chads in the chat. He did a killer job of getting everything moved over, him and his team.
Yep.
I'm very impressed with Chad the last week or so.
Yeah.
He's one good feller. I'd like to shake that man's hand.
No.
Napkins looks like he's getting aggravated. You know, for a minute I was thinking that the Mediocres were still in a hotel, and I was like, wait a second, how are they in different rooms? Did she kick him in the hallway?
Mander, if you see the little emoji icon at the side of your little chat bar, you click it, and
He's a good one. Don't
Click
tell him we
on-
said that.
McMedic SCG on the side there, and it'll show you all of the different emotes that he has. Like this fun little one.
The McHoly Dab!
Yeah, you did it, Mander.
Yeah.
You learned something.
Yep, she sure did. Hashtag some people's kids. Do.
We are working on it. Somehow TeamSpeak got deleted.
He was in here.
Yeah, how did he pull that off? Your wifey, I bet that he closed it out after last podcast. He left it open before. I'm
But he
confused.
was just in the thing. How did he do that?
That's some real talent right there.
That is
Delete,
straight up talent.
Delete an application that you're currently using.
Right? No. I bet the laptop turned 1 year older.
Gave up the ghost.
That's pretty good, Mander. I gotta give it to you. That's pretty good.
User in your channel is recording.
Have you not been recording?
Stopping and going with it? I'm confused.
I hear words.
I hear echoes.
Yeah, because
Oh.
he's still got the call turned on. There we go.
Hold on.
Turn your webcam on Twitch.
I'm
I
trying
can
to
hear
fix it.
I can hear Napkins through him. This is crazy. Rah. Hey, I see him.
Moonpie.
Is that a garage door?
Does
No,
look
it's
like
not
Are
that.
you in a storage unit?
I am. No, I'm not.
Did she really like just kick you out? Like, hey, you gotta have to go out here. I can't handle you.
Y'all don't understand. This evangelist life gets rough. No, I'm in a gymnasium. This is here. See, this is
she
like a
said
half
she
wall.
did kick him out.
We don't
And
blame
there's-
you, Mander.
It's a little rolly door.
Oh,
Or-
like a beat session booth.
Yeah.
Good
which is weird
morning.
to have at a church thing, but hey, it's here.
Hey,
I
Hey,
mean,
you
if they
take
got a
what-
gymnasium, I'm assuming they do
Like-
events there.
are you playing ball?
It's like a gym,
Are
but
you balling right now?
You're echoing like you're in a gym.
hello.
Hello.
Totally in a gym.
You're an idiot.
I'm an idiot.
Anyway,
Oh, I made it.
Moonpie made it. Good morning, fellers.
Woo!
Welcome back to Beyond the Quest. This is episode 21.
Yep.
What about that? Craziness. Did you have a good Easter, sir?
Me? Am I the sir?
You're the one that's not been here, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we
You've not
Yeah.
missed much, Mario.
We just been waiting on Moonpie to figure life out.
Yep,
waiting
our
on me.
podcast is now legal in the eyes of the government.
What?
Because we're 21.
That's what your wife
Today's
said.
episode
You
21.
guys are legal now.
Get it?
Oh, I
That
get
was a you joke.
Yeah, that was
You
a-
didn't even get it.
I get it now.
He can dish out the dad jokes. He just can't understand them.
I feel attacked.
That's because you ain't
You know
woke up yet. You overslept.
Listen, we are in a different time zone, and I forgot that I'm an hour behind you guys. So, what is 9:30 for you now is 8:30 for me.
How's it feel living in the past?
Sounds like a you problem.
Can you tell me everything that's going to happen in the next 30 minutes?
You're gonna have technical issues.
Well,
Good morning, Faith. Welcome back.
Morning, Mario. Morning, Faith. We got all kinds of people here.
Mario, you haven't missed much yet. We've had some technical issues getting Moonpie in here with us.
One day he will figure it out.
I will. I will.
I said it's gonna just take a newer laptop or something.
Hey, don't be talking about my laptop.
It's like still on dial up.
It had been plugged in for like 20 minutes and still did not come on. It took forever.
I was still confused because you were in the TeamSpeak with us, and then he hopped in and he's like, TeamSpeak got deleted somehow. I was like, what? He was just here.
I know. That's what I didn't understand. I was like, what is going on?
Commander says that's her laptop.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't claim it.
Her laptop.
Does everybody have a good Easter though?
Yes.
Yes'm.
Indeed.
We seen
Even though I kind of slept and worked.
Yeah, and you have peanut butter shoved in your mouth?
That I did.
Yep.
like when
way
you
to
do
wake
that to a dog.
Straight up, yep.
Yeah, oh, Mama just took off with a spoon of peanut butter.
His sugar, she kept getting alerts that his sugar was dropping.
Yeah, they switched me from Dexcom to Libra, and I'm not a fan of the Libra. So I have an appointment today to see if they can get my insurance to pay for Dexcom again.
Whatever all that is.
A lot of words.
Diabetes.
Diabetes. Change blossom.
Everything sounds so echoey behind him.
Yeah, I know.
Is it because of me?
You're the only one echoing, so
I don't understand.
It's because you're in a giant room.
Oh, that I am. That I am.
that cannot be helped.
Yep.
I
You
did
should have
this
sent
with
you
the
should have sent
kindness of
Mander
my
to the
heart.
giant room.
Well, the boys have school and stuff, and I thought, well, she'll probably want the room because they have like a little desk up there they can use. And this, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can. So that above me is a ledge, and behind that ledge is a door, and behind that door is an apartment. And
Mander's
by
shooting.
apartment, I mean a room. Why is she shooting? Is she shooting at me?
I guess.
Come out in Jesus' name.
I think
I
she
would've
just
asked
found the
them to,
emoji button.
Yeah, we had to explain it to her earlier.
Yeah, she found the emote. She's She's having a good time.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyways,
Moonpie found the emotes.
Hashtag Moonpie.
Hey, look, Oogie.
Oogie.
Yeah,
Where?
the one that
The
Mander
emote
just
there.
dropped.
An emote of Oogie.
It's so small I can't see it.
Well, I can't help it.
But, you know, when you're told to wear glasses, you should wear glasses.
Well, I had them on, and then this stupid light right here, it's right above me, attached to this ledge that is attached to
The
a
door.
floor that's attached to a door. It was shining down.
That
the
is
light
all
off my
attached to a
light.
foundation.
Moonpie's turning into Dr. Seuss on us.
You can't handle these rhymes. Just be thankful I ain't dropping sick beats.
Hashtag.
Boom. Does anybody have any thoughts
Speaking
on
of-
brain this morning?
I have a thought that I've wanted to bring to you guys' table.
Oh,
Yes.
Uh-oh.
I watched Captain America Brave New World.
oh,
And
you've seen the new one.
yes, I watched it yesterday. And I just wanted to throw this out there, get your all's opinion. And I wanted to say it sucked.
I haven't watched it yet, no, but I haven't
Well, let me
heard
tell
too
you.
many great things.
It sucked.
I just wanted to bring this to the table, get your all's opinion, and say it sucked.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of rough things about it. Everything from it being too woke to being too political to all sorts of stuff. So I don't have a clue yet.
So my problem with it was the fact that you only see the Red Hulk for like 8 minutes, and the guy that played Sam Wilson, who also played Papa Doc in 8 Mile, what's his name? Anywho, he gets stabbed in every fight scene, and his acting reminds me of. It feels like I'm watching. Do you guys remember the show Famous Jet Jackson?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
that's what it feels like I'm watching.
So a bad made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, and there was a really awkward moment where they have Bucky there. Like, Bucky shows up for like a minute and 30 seconds for this awkward conversation and then laughs and leaves and never comes back. Never see him again. I think
Enjoy
the
this terrible movie. Ha ha.
So,
I think the whole point was for them to say the word adamantium.
It could be. Bucky will actually be appearing in the Thunderbolts movie next month.
Okay, that's why they had him show up. Then.
Yeah, which all the stuff I've seen on it so far, it looks like it's going to be a blast. It's bringing back the actor who plays Jim Harbaugh on Stranger Things. He's coming back as the Russian Captain America thing, like he played in the Black Widow movie.
Oh yeah.
Black Widow's sister, who replaced her, will be in it, along with the government-appointed Captain America replacement from the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. So a bunch of the offbeat characters from the last 10 years are going to be in it, creating the Thunderbolts.
Hashtag
out of-
unpopular opinion. There's not a lot of the superhero movies that I really like.
Well,
Like the
I'm a
first
Loki fan.
Avengers. The first Avengers I enjoyed. Ragnarok I enjoyed. Venom I enjoyed.
Is a blast. Venom is very good.
And that's about it.
I will say I enjoyed the Spider-Man movies.
yeah,
enjoyed all
I
of
really
the
liked
MCU ones.
the new Spider-Man too.
I actually enjoyed both Doctor Strange movies. I know a lot of people didn't care for the sequel, but I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Nacho Libre is my favorite superhero.
Nacho. Where
Napkins.
are the chips? There is no flavor.
Yes, sir.
I mean, obviously we can tell you're a Spider-Man fan.
My son is. All of my children.
What was you gonna say a while ago?
So I have a couple thoughts in my brain, but before I bring that up, um, Moon Pie,
Yes.
last episode,
Yes.
you said next
Gosh,
episode you were on, you were going to bring us Timu Christmas.
oh, this
Will
is
that have happened?
true.
There was supposed to be a goal set.
There was a goal set. It is not reached.
Oh, so I guess Timu Christmas has to wait.
Yeah, everybody needs to start watching my stream when I get on so I can get affiliate and make him sing it.
Yeah, you tell them, Taco.
All right.
That's like a month
So
process, though.
one of the things on my brain, um, and I feel like Medic, you're probably going to be able to relate with this a little bit more than the others. Moon Pie, you only have two children, so I don't know necessarily that you've experienced this per se, but so all of you guys know, the viewers probably don't. My middle child recently was diagnosed with moderate to severe ADHD of both types, as well as ODD. Combine that with him being a middle child and my youngest starting school in the same room as him. Mander says
What's
she can't hear
wait.
anything.
What does being a middle child have to do with
I'm
it?
getting to that. I'm
I'm
getting to
I'm
that.
offended, sir.
You
I
are a
am
middle child who mom,
it's
as
it's gonna
often
come
said,
full
nearly
circle.
drove her crazy.
It's
It
gonna
does say
come
ads are getting
full
ready to
circle.
play. We can let it. We can keep going and just let the ads roll if you want.
Um okay, so Mander is watching on my stream. So maybe I'm having connection issues because y'all said I sounded like a robot earlier.
You
But
don't
you don't
now.
now.
Hello.
Let me see if I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Mander, can you hear now? Mander, can you hear now?
Oh yeah, I can hear you on your stream.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
she
I
said
fixed it.
Joey is the only one I can. Oh, she can now.
Okay. So I will back up and repeat. So
Attacking middle children. I get it.
uh, like I said, the my middle child was recently diagnosed with moderate to severe ADHD of both types, as well as ODD. Combine that with him being a middle child, and the term that they use is called middle child syndrome, where they always feel jealous, they always feel left out, like that they're not getting enough attention. Um,
That
and
is rude.
uh, combine all that with his little brother starting school, who is younger than him and in the same class as him. So, of course, he's getting a little bit more attention from the teacher than he is. He has started acting out in class. Um, so, my question to you guys, have you experienced this with your kids, or do you have any advice of how I can handle this with him? The teacher's already doing things like trying to give him more one-on-one time, explaining to him why Bubby's getting more time and attention from her. Um, but the teacher's kind of struggling because it's to the point now that he's telling the teacher that he doesn't want to do his work. He's wanting to be really clingy to the teacher constantly and not really wanting to be independent. And he goes to kindergarten next year. So thoughts?
Firm hand. I'm just kidding.
Firmly grasp it.
I don't know. Have you set him down and talked to him about it?
Um, I really so I kind of talked to him a little bit like because okay, so the teacher's biggest concern um was that they were, I guess they were on the playground, and he got away from the teacher and took off running, and so that was her biggest concern, that combined with telling the teacher that he didn't want to do his work. um so I kind of explained to him, you have to be safe at school. You have to listen to your teachers. You have to make sure you stay with your teachers, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't really touch on the whole feeling jealous of Bubby thing.
That seems like the more important root of the problem. You should.
Yeah.
To be
Definitely
honest,
discuss that with them.
that part, the biggest reason why I didn't touch on that part is because me and the teacher didn't really she didn't really explain that that was what was going on per se. Like, me and mom had talked about it and had kind of thought maybe that's what's going on, but she pretty much confirmed it, but she didn't confirm it until late Friday evening after I was at work, and I didn't really get a
You
chance.
kind of live in a house right now where there's like a superhero that lives there that raised this really god awful middle child that might be able to give you some really good advice.
Let me say, um, I don't know if you guys have met my brothers, or not, but they're okay. I mean, no, I never really was jealous of them. I was always afraid I was going to make them jealous. Never caused me to act out as a child.
Oh, yeah, okay. Remember, you are staying with the church.
No, we kind of had similar issues with Josiah when Judah got, uh, I guess not really with school, but we started having issues where he wanted to act out more. When Judah started getting more attention, like when he was in the little phase, and I wouldn't know that we really did anything specifically that helped other. I mean, we tried to counter um, anytime we felt like Josiah was perceiving something as like him thinking, oh, I'm not getting any attention at all. Or we tried to, do stuff with him to show him that, it wasn't a thing about taking attention away from him. It was just, it was part of adjusting to having a little brother. And would I say that everything is like always okay? I would say no. There are times when I think they're going to rip each other's heads off, but I don't know. I guess I can't really relate as far as the school thing goes because they have a teacher who, you know, she's a really good teacher. Um, she's got the capability to, lay down the law in a way that other teachers can't because she's their mother. So,
She only has 2 students.
She said I
Right.
included Josiah in almost everything that had to do with Judah and made him feel like a superhero big brother. As far as like the school thing goes, all of mine are kind of spaced out. They've not really been in the same class. Um, but if when we have issues like of the jealousy stuff going on or the acting out and stuff, we have family meetings. Everybody gets on the couch, sits down, put it all out in open, have discussions, talk to them. This is their time to talk, get it off their chest, what's going on, what's bothering them, try and correct what we see is going on, and try and get to the root of what problem is happening. That's pretty much how we try and handle a lot of the main problems that we have that happen. But I think at the same time, of course, any siblings are going to end up clashing at some point. If they're in the same class and you have issues like that going on and sitting down and talk to him doesn't work, try doing like a reverse psychology, being like, oh, well, you keep acting like this and you're going to have to put up with it next year because you ain't going to move on.
And that's something I've already kind of thought ahead about because next year the middle one and the older one will be in the same class together. So or in the same grade together. So I'm going to talk to the school and see if it's possible to put them in different classrooms.
Right. To prevent.
Yeah, but where it's already so late in the year, I'm trying to avoid doing that this year.
Which has he started on any of the ADHD medicine?
No, he can't until after his next birthday. They say he's still too young.
Because that I can relate on. We have one that's got ADHD, and you can tell a difference when he's not on the medicine. And apparently the teachers can too.
Yeah, I've heard about that. The teachers making comments like, so, is his prescription run out? Is it going to be renewed?
Sorry, we're no
I
help.
don't have ADHD, so I can't relate to that.
Are you sure?
At the very least,
I'm not sure.
undiagnosed.
I'm not sure. There are times that I wonder.
It's alright, we're hillbillies. We were raised in a time where that wasn't common, so I'm
That is-
sure there's all sorts of things they missed with us.
That is true, wife.
raised
He
on
can also
Doritos and
tell
Mountain Dew.
himself the difference when he's not had his medicine.
She admits that she totally has self-diagnosed ADHD.
No, she doesn't. I diagnosed her with ADHD.
It wasn't self-diagnosed. It was spousally diagnosed.
Napkin?
I
thought
can't
you-
remember my other thing now. To be honest.
Wow.
Pope's dead.
Pope died.
He died. He died this morning.
That's random.
Yeah. The day after Easter. I think it's prophetic.
There was I didn't see anything about it, but apparently my wife did. There was apparently a threat that was issued online of somebody saying they were going to shoot up the high school
Yeah, and bring
And-
bombs.
and bring bombs to all the Floyd County schools.
Ah,
Child has
hear
been
that.
arrested by Kentucky State Police.
And then we couldn't find anyone else, any other updates on it. So there was a lot of children that did not go to school today.
wow.
By the way, when we do get to them, I've skimmed the questers' questions, and not only does Medic have some hate mail, so does his wife.
Getting loud, baby.
I had one thing I wanted to ask you all about. What are your opinions about emulators?
I enjoy emulators. They
Well-
emulate so much things that I like.
Specifically, do you think it's alright for these gaming companies to try and sue emulators and try and shut them down?
Ooh,
That depends if the game is already like gonzoed.
yeah.
Well, typically these emulators don't even get the chance to be created until after the console itself is no longer in production. Like the most recent ones I've been able to find go up to the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. Both are completely discontinued. You cannot make new ones of them anymore. And to buy used ones, you're out $150 for something that might work for a week or two at best, because so many of them are so old. So is it right for Microsoft or Sony to try and sue these people who create emulators to continue to play those games they no longer make or sell?
So I think that as long as they're not, trying to sell them, and of course we know people do because I've been to flea markets. But as I think, as long as they're not trying to sell them, if they're creating it for their own, what's that word?
If they're
Profit?
just creating it for entertainment
Yeah,
and
yeah,
not
I'm
for
like, go for
Profit.
monetization, then yeah.
it. Do it.
Faith Post says, does Moonpie game?
I do game. I don't
If you count
stream.
Fortnite.
Excuse me. I've been playing the Ghost of Tsushima, and it has become one of my favorite video games because it's like Metal Gear meets Shinobi.
It's an odd comparison because most people that I've followed who have played that refer to it as think of Assassin's Creed if you played a samurai. And
Yeah, well,
then,
Moonpie isn't
Assassin's
most
Creed
people.
made a Japanese one.
Well, I think it's a little different from Assassin's. I do think it's got a lot of the similarities as far as like, your free reign to be able to run around play in the free world area and stuff. But I don't know, a lot of like the mission stuff that you have to complete. Really, it reminds me of the Metal Gear Solid games.
I've
But I'm
watched
a
quite a
ninja.
bit of gameplay from it. One of the streamers I followed did it, and the missions seem to vary quite a bit too. It's not repetitive.
Oh yeah.
Like you might do one, the entire mission is sneak in, get certain planes out of a camp, and sneak back out without alerting the camp. Your very next mission may be
Blow the
go
camp up.
attack, yeah, go blow this camp up, or go attack this caravan and take everything they have. And it's pretty varied and
I've not played it
what
in a
else
few
going on.
weeks, but Moonpie, I did hit Plat 2 so far in Ballistic on Fortnite.
Nice.
And I found a Christian streamer that wants to play it with me who is Unreal ranked. And I was like, I don't think you realize how bad I am.
I'm
Is
able
that
to play
Juke?
Fortnite at the moment.
Unable to play Fortnite?
Because my portal, for whatever reason, the only thing I can do from my portal now is stream through my online account. Everything else, it's no longer tied to my PlayStation, and I just repaired it because it unpaired when we were gone on our last trip, which Manders is working because she's still able to get on hers and play Fortnite, but mine won't let me connect to my PlayStation at all.
That's because you're using a PlayStation.
I know. I really wanted that Xbox I sent you.
Yeah, he found like the portable, it's got the screen built on it. You just flip it up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been so cool.
You know you can
But
play
the-
Fortnite on a Switch.
Yeah, I know my boys play on their Switch, but I can't.
My kids play
can't
Fortnite on their
personally
phones.
Yep.
I have it on my phone, but where my phone's so small and my thumbs are so large.
They pair
Makes it
a
difficult.
Xbox controller to their phone.
No, I got rid of the Fold, my last upgrade, because when you opened it up, the center screen developed this. This was the second time this happened. I had to trade it in when it happened the first time. But when you opened it up, the screen all the way down the center turned black and was like spreading out to the rest of it.
I don't know if you can Bluetooth a PS5 controller to a phone. I know the kids do an Xbox controller, and that's how they play it on their phone.
You
I
might
didn't
be
even
able
think
to.
about that. That's a good idea.
You could try.
That's
it.
actually
You can
a
see his
comment
wheels
with the
turning in
folds.
his head right now.
The folds only have a certain amount of, folds.
Opens.
That
Folds.
That's the truth.
Speaking
Oh,
of
upgraded.
phones,
I
I
have to
finally, me and the wife upgraded. We went to iPhones,
Gross.
and I'm not a fan.
Yep, I left iPhone to go back to Android.
I'm not a fan. I've had it about, a week or two now, and I've already busted my screen protector.
Moonpie, what'd you end up upgrading to after the Fold?
S24 Ultra, and it's got a little
That's
pin.
is that the newest one or the last model before the newest?
The last model before the newest.
Yeah, I've
Our
been
last two
considering
had
that.
the
I
pins
just
with
don't
it.
want the extra price tag that goes with it on my bill.
Yeah, yeah, that's always fun.
Well,
I was being charged for 2 Disney subscriptions on my phone bill.
Instead of one.
Yep, so I had to cancel them. I canceled them both.
I was gonna say, aren't you all on my Disney account too?
It won't let us use yours.
Don't say that on live. That's against their terms and conditions.
I don't know what you're talking about.
what's Disney? Is that like Nickelodeon?
Actually, it won't let us use yours. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I know why. Because you're not with us to give me the code that it emails to.
I've never gotten anything emailed to me with a code.
Well, see, that furthers my point. It won't let me do it. So
Well, napkins, you tried to save them from it.
Yeah. He just
I just said that I can't do it. I'm not watching
Yeah,
his Disney.
we're not violating it because Disney won't let us violate it.
That's
You know what'd be
We
good right
tried to
now?
violate it.
You know, it'd be
Disney
really
said
good
no.
right now. An ice cold L8.
Yeah,
Sugar-free L8.
no.
No.
I
L8
like the
is L8.
sugar-free. I like the sugar-free better than the regular.
You're just not right.
Hashtag sponsorships.
Hashtag Moonpie and L8. Moon pies are just, can I just be real with you? I think moon pies are just okay. I don't even like the flavor. The
Have
only
you
reason I
microwaved
like-
one yet?
I have. And I will say, I did like it better microwave.
Now,
Right.
which kind did you try microwave, though?
The original.
Okay,
Yellow.
so the banana.
Yeah. But, and this is weird. So, I'm not huge on the way moon pies taste, but the reason I like them is because they remind me of Papaw, so I eat them anyway. Is that weird?
I kind of get it. And besides that, ironically, moon pies are a staple of Kentucky. They were created here.
Well, see, look.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were
Moon
created
pie
for.
over Kentucky.
Chad has entered the building.
Ooh, Chad.
Ooh, drop some chats for Chad for being
they got,
amazing.
They got started at a
Don't tell him we said that.
convenience store thing.
Which one of these things is Chad?
The one that says daggone Chad.
Oh, yeah.
They were started by a convenience store to sell to miners coming and going from their shifts in the mine as something they could eat one-handed real quick.
Why would this little weird piece of hair keep falling down? That's weird.
It's all the humidity in that gymnasium you're in.
It really does feel wet in here. Isn't that weird?
So, see, now we need Moon Pies and L8 to sponsor us because it's our home state. They should just sponsor everybody from their home state.
And Grippo's potato chips.
Creepos.
Those are so good. I've been trying to do low carb. I jumped back on the wagon this week and I fell off yesterday.
You lasted a whole 2 days.
You got to remember the problem with low
4
carb
days.
is once you quit it, it all just comes back.
Oh, I know. My chest size can tell you that.
well,
Should we move
any-
on to Mister's questions?
I was about to say, anybody else got anything on the brain before we dive into these interesting questions?
I'm going to wait till after we get through the questions.
Okay. Well, the first one isn't even
Hashtag Moonpie at L8. Did it work? Did they see it yet? Are we
the
popular?
First one is not even a question. It's more of a statement.
Oh, boy.
And it comes from Anonymous, which I'm going to give the name as Hater. And they
If you're
say
going to give hate mail, just leave your name.
everyone's hating.
Come on, Karen.
Everyone's hating on the YouTube shows just because they have more followers than them.
Hashtag what's your deal?
Wait, was that it? That was all
That's
to it?
That's it.
That-
Yep.
That's literally how we explain that those two channels work. That's what they do. They attack channels bigger than them to get more followers. If we were doing the same, we wouldn't be on Twitch with our podcast right now. We'd be making another video. You won't believe how terrible these people are and how they're leading you to hell.
Hashtag
Speaking of,
haters. Move on.
Uh-oh.
this comes from Stephanie. It's addressed to McMedic.
Oh, boy.
She listens on
Stephanie!
Spotify from Tennessee. And she says, so we are just condoning everyone following the traps the enemy has laid out that so many people are falling into.
What?
Who condoned any of that?
And I'm assuming she's saying because your points that
Because
you made about listening to worship music
yeah,
that one dude said you shouldn't.
You mean the same video he made that directly copied the guy that he attacked in the very next video and said not to listen to?
here's my thing,
Don't listen to him. You'll hear I
Stephanie.
copied him.
Stephanie from Tennessee. Uh, um, am I condoning people wanting to listen to whatever worship music that they feel that they connect with? Go for it. I'm not going to tell anybody what they should listen to. I'm not going to tell anybody what they shouldn't listen to. There's a thing that should come with your walk of wisdom and knowledge.
And conviction.
And there's also a thing that people have to watch for when you get straight to judgmental and start trying to give too many rules and you're playing with religion, Stephanie. That is my thing that I come from it. I don't care. I'm not here to judge anybody on anything in their life, whether it's listening to whatever worship music they want or, well, I read a different version of the Bible than you, so then what? We're going to condone them and yell at them for that too. I think everybody gets too tied up into the church political side of what I call it, and it's just too much fighting and bickering and tearing each other down. And literally, the way that the dude did his video was nothing but tearing everybody else down that he didn't agree with. And there's no love in that, and if there's no love in it, there's no Christ in it.
Well, a good example I would like to throw out too is,
That's
a
right,
former
Mander.
member of Korn became Christian and started putting out Christian music that a lot of the mainstream Christian audience completely condemns, and they come against him strongly because of
Brian
the way he
Welsh.
talks and acts and everything.
Yeah,
I
that's his
can
name.
see their point of view
Ed.
of he is definitely not your, stereotype Christian. He doesn't look like a Christian, doesn't sound like a Christian, or walk like a Christian, but he's reaching an entirely different audience of what their perfect view of a Christian is going to reach. And we could go in circles over and over and over if we wanted about, well, is it okay for him to cuss when he does interviews? Is it okay for him to cuss when he does music? We could go round and round about that. That's not my concern. My concern is he actually teaching them what the gospel says? If he's truly teaching what the gospel says, that Christ was the Messiah, died for our sins, was resurrected, and was the Son of God, then we have to at least let him have his place at the table to reach the audience he can reach. If God puts conviction on him for using the language he uses, great. I choose not to use that kind of language because I don't want it to be turned into something people can use to justify their own behavior or actions.
Philippians 2 says, work out your own self salvation with fear and trembling, not
Exactly.
not your neighbors. Oh, speaking of people that people don't like that say they're Christian now, Jelly Roll got saved.
Did he?
Yeah, thanks to his new friend who he has been traveling around with, and wait, I forgot. These people that are giving you hate mail don't agree that Brandon Lake was planting seeds because he's a heretic. Oh man.
Right, right.
So I
Oh,
guess
yeah, he's everybody's
guess
brainwashed
that,
that listens to him.
yeah,
So
I guess that means that the
Jelly
gospel
Roll
is
fell
like
into
kind
another
of.
trap of the enemy
Oh
of coming
no!
to
How did
God.
he get saved? Oh, somebody save Jelly Roll.
So, real quick, have you all heard of the YouTube channel Make Faith Famous?
No.
No.
So, their whole thing is they actually highlight celebrities who are vocal about being Christians or have said that they're Christian or gotten saved and stuff like that, and do like brief overviews of their story. And I actually recently learned that the actor who plays Reacher in the new Amazon Reacher series is a very vocal Christian and actually
How
has his own channel called Instant Church, where he
really?
does shorts, where he actually does quick little things about Bible verses and what we can learn from them.
I want him to be
Commander
Batman
said,
so bad. It's
y'all
unreal.
see American Idol last night? Me either. But all they have posted about are the Christian artists and talked about how they had straight up church last night. Pretty cool.
Nice.
Word.
I think what we are seeing take place, at least in America right now, is a movement of people's hearts being turned back towards God, like a remnant of people.
And I'll be honest
While
with you, I think a lot of the problem that a lot of people are having, like maybe Stephanie, is everybody is so used to nobody wanting anything to do with church, nobody wanting
Yeah.
anything to do with God, and then now you see all these like Jelly Roll and things, all these more known names and things that are starting to show more attention towards worship and towards God and stuff, and now everybody's like, oh well, this is obviously just to make money off of.
Well, I mean, I'm not Catholic or anything, but I'm not going to condemn any of these people who are Catholic, like the actor who plays Christ on The Chosen. He's a Catholic. Uh, then there's, oh, what's his name from the other guys with Will Ferrell.
Oh,
Mark Wahlberg.
Yes,
yeah, Wahlberg,
he
Marky
has been
Mark.
very vocal about how he has really devoted himself to his Catholic faith and everything. I'm not going to condemn them for being Catholic. I don't agree with a lot of the things the Catholics practice or anything, but I think it's another
Like idol
sign
worship.
of I think it's another sign of how we have this like locked image in our minds for the longest time when you first become a Christian or start going to church or whatever of, well, we have to wear the suit and tie or we're not really Christian. We're not really doing the things we're supposed to do. And I think a lot of them are helping to break that mold and break that image. And that's why we're getting so many people who are like, no, they're trying to lead you to hell because they're telling you you don't have to wear the suit and tie. And that's just not the case. I
Well,
mean,
last time I
John
checked,
the
God
Baptist
doesn't
wore
look at what you're
camo
wearing on the
outfits, so
outside; He looks what's on the inside.
exactly. I think that a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are starting to wake up to a whole lot of things, and some are reacting in anger, and others are openly embracing it, saying, "This is what God meant when He said, I will call all people unto me." Because I mean, like Brian Welsh and Jelly Roll are not what you expect when you hear these people are Christian, and I think
It
they're
looks
prime
like
examples
ads
of it.
are playing. If you want to wait on the next question, sir.
Yep. I just want to take a moment and uh, give a shout out to our wonderful sponsor, Angry Vet Nation.
Who?
Angry Vet Nation is a nonprofit dedicated to helping veterans and first responders break into the world of content creation and streaming. Whether you're active duty, retired, or just getting started, Angry Vet Nation is here to support your journey with tools, training, and a community that's always got your six. So if you're a frontline hero looking to turn your passion into purpose, head on over to angryvetnation.org and get plugged in. Angry Vet Nation, from the front lines to the front page.
Word.
Very nice.
Oh, and a huge shout out to Chad from Angry Vet Nation, because now if anybody does have any hate mail, questions, concerns, or anything, they can contact us back at beyondthequest.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
And speaking of,
And we have more respect when you leave your name like Stephanie did.
if you are a company, brand, or organization and you're looking to get on some sort of platform that our numbers typically reach, at least the lowest lately has been about 2,000 a week. You can reach out at napkins at slimchancegaming.com. Shoot me an email. I will shoot you over our sponsorship resume to highlight all the good things we can do for your brand or company.
You
We're
want some amazing advertisements? Napkins will hook you up.
What will $5 a month get me?
We'll work something out.
Talk after the show.
All right.
All right, we're back.
Jumping
we
right
missed
in.
A couple messages though, because of the ad break. Medic's wife, he said, "Yes, times have changed, but God doesn't change." And once the ad started, Mediocre Mander said, "Thanks to Peach, I'm still here."
Shout
All
out,
right.
Peach.
So, this one comes from Adam. It's addressed to everyone. He listens on Spotify from Ohio. And he
Adam.
said, Jesus doesn't live in a box. Man, that's the best line from the last show, besides Moonpie telling stories on himself in his pants. LOL.
No, we're
So-
talking about my pants.
He said,
Sometimes
so
the
I am
integrity
very
of the
much
britches
interested
just-
in a faith-based show. Can you all just spitball some ideas to talk about?
Ooh. Well, we kind of mentioned this on one stream. We were talking with Faith, I believe.
Yes, Faith suggested a couple.
Faith mentioned maybe trying to do like a Bible study, one episode of what it is to be a man of God, which I think would be a good one.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
could be a pretty good one.
Put your purse down.
We've had discussions before of maybe revisiting some stuff we had studied in youth groups or Bible lessons in the past, like the lesser judges from the Old Testament.
David's mighty men.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed the stories of the lesser judges because he said it was a roller coaster of emotion. Some of them, it was literally their name, how long they ruled, and then they died. And then others, it was big epic stories that sounded like they could be full-blown movies.
What it's like being an end-time Christian.
That'd be another pretty good one.
Ooh.
So I am. Well, also I'll wait till after we get through the questions. I will say what I wanted to talk about has to do with the faith-based show.
Yep.
So stick around if you want to know more on it.
Oh, I think McMedic's wifey just volunteered for her and Mander to do an episode of Women of God.
That's what I'm seeing right now in the
That's kinda
chat.
how I take that.
That's what I read. It's too late. It's already been said.
It has been written.
Remove the no.
It's been
Hear me,
written.
I have spoken.
So yeah, we'll end up touching more on that question, I'm sure, after we get through the rest of them.
All right. So this
It's
next
cold in
one-
this here, Jim.
You all have distorted comprehension. That's
This
big
next
words.
one comes
Don't you
from
cuss at me, lady.
777 for life.
Okay.
Word.
They listen on Spotify from Indiana, and they address this to everyone. They say, how was everyone's Easter, and can you all explain exactly what Easter means to you?
I had a really good Easter. Well, despite the fact that my wife was working and I didn't have my children with me, but got to hang out with Napkins' kids for a little while, and Mom and Dado and Taco. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was
Um,
warmer than I would have liked for, hiding eggs for children, but otherwise,
what Easter really means to me, it's always a reminder of the promise that's still there. That he's
Yeah.
risen, and he's our hope, and that everything that he's promised is going to be fulfilled, and that promise is still there today. That's what Resurrection Day and everything usually comes back to me for.
yeah. Even though I know our idea of Easter doesn't line up with the biblical account and Passover and everything, I still recognize it for what it's meant to symbolize, which is that promise and that sacrifice that was made for us. So that's kind of how I always view it.
Is it my turn or is it Napkin's
Yes, go
turn?
ahead.
Oh, I had a really good Easter yesterday. We got to see, I don't even know how many people got saved. It was really cool. There was, I know of like four that came to the altar, and then there was just a bunch of people coming up, and they were all crying, and hands were raised and stuff. And so I don't know what all happened. I just know that the Lord moved.
That's awesome.
And uh, yesterday, I actually preached a message that it wasn't really traditional, I guess, for Easter because I was preaching about um, Peter's fall. Like Jesus tells Peter, he says, Satan desires to have you. He wants to sift you as wheat. He tells him, he says, and when you are converted. So what he's telling Peter, he says, you're going to fall because for there to be a conversion, you have to fall. And so we fast forward and we know that the one of the very last things that John records is a conversation between Jesus and Peter, where Jesus is asking Peter, he says, do you love me? And of course, by the third time, Peter's like, all things, Lord. You know everything. You see my heart. You know that I love you. And this is the man who he had just denied Christ 3 times. And so it was like God showed me that it was through the resurrection that he offers conversion because we fall so many times and Christ knows that we will fall, but because of his resurrection, we can be converted. And what did he say? When you are converted, strengthen the brethren. So um, I guess when I think about Easter, I think about the fact that uh, I'm not destined for darkness. I'm not bound to be destroyed, but I have a promise that if I just continue to lean into Jesus and trust on Jesus, that He will pull me out of whatever mess that I'm in. And as long as I'm repentant, He is a forgiving Savior. He's alive,
That's
and
good.
I'm forgiven. Heaven's gates are open wide. He's alive.
Yeah, he don't have ADHD at all. Napkins?
Hashtag Dolly Parton.
Um. Anyway, so I mean, my Easter was kind of spent mostly sleeping because I worked all weekend. I work every
Oh,
weekend.
come on. You
so
had peanut butter shoved in your mouth and Pepsi poured
did.
down your throat.
My sugar dropped, so I did. I woke up to Medic being like, "Hey, your sugar's low or something. Drink this." I was like, "Okay." Followed by my mom being like, "Hey, eat this," and it was a spoonful of peanut butter. I didn't know, but anywho,
I don't know what's happening.
so that's kind of how my Easter went. I did get to surprise the boys with some new backpacks and shoes and an outfit. And they were extremely excited, so that was cool.
I liked their
Before I
little
crashed out.
picture yesterday. They look like the wrecking crew.
And as far as what Easter means to me, I mean, you guys have pretty much summed it up perfectly. It's about the ultimate sacrifice and God's promise, and about how we're just like you said, Moonpie. We're not destined to darkness. We just have to live the way that we're supposed to, and do follow the way.
If we can get Dolly on here, I'm coming on the show.
I mean, we could put Dolly on here, but she's a wild dog. Nobody wants to see
I
her.
was going to say, is she talking about her dog?
I think she
Dolly
was referring
Parton.
to Moonpie saying hashtag Dolly Parton.
Heaven's gates are open wide.
Where did Napkins go?
Find Dolly Parton.
No. Okay. Napkins disappear.
Mediocre Mandarin, Jolene.
No, you gotta say the last one like Jolene.
Yeah, you gotta say it right.
Well, then read it correctly for me there, Moonpie.
Jolene. Jolene.
I'm just saying, if
Jolene.
we ever get like a Patreon thing set up for like behind the scenes stuff,
Oh, yeah.
these behind the scene chats should totally be included.
I
How
agree.
dare you?
I
How
agree.
dare you? You need to repent.
Maynard said she can have my man.
Well,
Oh,
Moonpie, keep in mind, she's got lots of money.
she is pretty old.
Couple years break.
Pay off the truck, Dolly.
I apologize. I had a urgent thing come up. Like I've mentioned several times, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background.
Oh, I thought you was going to talk about prairie dogging.
No, I'll send it in the.
Oh,
Well, I forgot to say one other thing about Brave New World. The main villain is played by Delmer
who?
from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Really?
Paid into a horny toad. Yeah, he's the main bad guy. It's hard to take serious. It's weird.
Yeah, there's
Wow.
no way I could.
Now I
it's
feel like
awkward.
I have to watch this just so I can have a good laugh.
I don't
Yeah.
know. This sounds like it'd be worse than Napoleon Dynamite.
I just don't know how you take a guy like Harrison Ford, who is this legendary actor, and surround him by a bunch of mediocre people who can't act.
Well,
And-
Anthony Mackie did great in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay, well, in Brave New World, he did not. So, I'm just saying.
Gotcha, napkins.
It's a bit of a surprise.
I know who it was. Stephanie.
The same thing.
Oh, Chinese.
Oh yeah, I'm currently trying to copy the questions over in case that happens. So I might need just a second.
I can't believe it. It was just today. I was today years old when I found out there was a behind the scenes thing.
I
Been on
can.
here how many times now?
I don't know.
To be
I always
fair,
heard that little ding in my head and was like, what is that noise?
to be fair, most of the time we're just lucky you've made it on here.
Right?
Sure.
Just saying.
Yeah.
All right,
I
I'm gonna
think
read
people
this
should-
next one, and while you guys are answering, I'm gonna keep trying to move these questions over. This next one comes from Servant of the Most High. It's addressed to everyone. Listens from South Carolina on Spotify, and it says, "What is your guys' thoughts on tattoos? A sin or not? Do you all have them, and do you regret them?"
Can we enlarge Medic's picture right now? Is that possible?
That's kind of what I was thinking the whole time he was reading.
These are bruises.
So, the
I fell.
idea that sins are, or that tattoos are a sin is where they took a verse out of the Old Testament completely out of context, where it
Yeah,
says to let
Leviticus.
no man put any mark upon you, and not to mark yourselves for the dead. A lot of people take that and they go, well, this means
Some people's
tattoos,
kids.
but that wasn't the case at all. It meant marking yourself ritually for pagan gods, or to ritualistically scar yourself with knives and stuff to represent the dead, whether it's enemies you killed or family that had died or whatever. That was a common practice in a lot of pagan cultures, is you put a scar upon your body to represent them. That's what it's referring to. Actual tattoos? Nah. If you want a tattoo and you don't feel conviction, get that tattoo. I've got 3, one of which needs very desperately to be fixed because there was major issues with it.
Is that your Ninja Turtles one?
Yeah. Yeah, now that it's fully healed, I think it could be redone and come out fine. But for a couple months there, it looked pretty gnarly.
Gnarly.
Gnarly. I
Yeah.
didn't know anyone still used that word.
Occasionally,
like it.
a mode.
I forgot it was a word. I like tattoos. I think they look amazing. I don't have one, not because I think they're sinful. It's because I am a weenie and I'm terrified of needles. I don't care if I can see the needle or if it's in a little gun. I just know it's there and it's not going to happen. That's a no from me, dog.
It doesn't feel
Oh,
like a
come
needle.
on. I could hold your hand while you get it.
I just make Jordan get, Medic get the tattoos that I want. I make him get it like a
Hey, if
giant
you'll
koi
pay,
fish.
I'll get them.
So as far as do I have tattoos? Maybe.
Show your legs off.
I've got
Raise your legs
I've got
in the air. Let's see
these.
those
I've
things.
got one on each calf. I got one on my back. Still plenty I want to get.
Yeah, I'd like to get a whole lot more.
My whole thing is when people start judging on the tattoos, I guess would be the way to put it. They also overlook a aspect that I think they never actually think about is when you have a good tattoo or a unique tattoo. There's been several times walking just to the gas station to get something to drink or something. People stop you and they're like, "Hey, where do you get your work done? Really like your tattoo?" Or, "Oh, what's on your arm? What is that part in your tattoo?" and all this. And it leads to conversations where you can talk to people. I've had a few conversations where people stop me in the gas station or in Walmart talking about who does the work and whatnot, when to look at this whole sleeve over here. And I've got to talk about the verse that is right here on my arm. And they've wanted to read the verse, and I've got to explain the reason I have that verse about it was like the only time I ever heard our papaw stand up and talk in church. And it was the verse that he was referring to about you pick up your cross and follow him daily. I think a lot of people overlook the aspect that you can. It's a chance that can start a conversation to talk to people that you would never get a chance to talk to, and you could maybe plant a seed or be a light to.
Right.
I love tattoos. I think they're very addictive, actually.
They're like the clothes you can never take off.
Right. It's like I've heard a lot of people say you can wear your faith on your sleeve, and it's kind of like you can be a billboard for Jesus in different ways too.
Yeah. 2 of my 3 tattoos, Medic actually paid for. First was because me, him, and Napkins, all 3 had decided to go together and get one that even Moonpie would be able to join us in if he wanted. And,
Wait. That if you're talking about the one I think you're talking about, is it the UK one?
Yeah.
That was actually supposed to be a dare that Medic could shave it into the side of my head, and I had to wear it for a year. But we settled on tattoo instead.
Because that seemed less permanent.
That's all news to me. But yeah, we got those. That was the first one I got, and then the other one I got was because the artist said, "If you want to go ahead and get one, I'll do one for about $250." And then she dropped it down even less once she got finished. So
I think your next one should be the cat in the sombrero holding the lightsabers.
Manus.
get that on my other calf.
Or you could do a picture of a moon pie.
If you want to pay for it, I'll get the tattoo.
The wife says numbing cream is the only way to go.
I didn't use that. Just make sure your artist is smart enough to know to switch from a line needle to a shading needle.
Ugh, don't talk about needles.
Yeah, I learned that lesson the hard way.
He said, "Ooh. Got it all fixed. It's coming back up, Napkins."
Woohoo.
Take that, hackers.
Hashtag
Way to
Mark.
go, Chad.
From Tennessee.
All right. Next question comes from Big Joe, 1987.
Big Joe.
Big Joe.
He listens from Ohio. On Spotify, he addresses this to everyone. He says, "First of all, I love how real you guys are, and I think it is sad and funny at the same time how some of the people react to what you guys say.
Word.
I was just curious, do all of you all, including Moonpie, usually agree on everything?"
No.
We're all angels, of course.
Good old Joe.
No, I don't think you can find really anybody you would agree with completely on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're always gonna
everybody's
have some
a
differences.
difference. Yeah, and that's completely fine. That's what the real beauty of followers of Christ is that you may disagree about some stuff, but you still love one another and you still get along.
I think that's what makes these shows fun because you have different perspectives and ways to look at things.
Yeah,
We just know how to get along with each other because we've done it all of our lives.
We were forced to.
Yeah, or you got put on a couch and had to put your arm around the other one
You didn't want to do that with a middle child.
Literally forced to.
and then hit with whatever was in hitting range.
Next question comes from Travis. He
Travis!
listens from Georgia on Apple Podcast, and he addresses this to
T-Rav.
me.
Ooh, Napkins put on the spot. Give him some hate mail.
And he says, "Hey guys, love the show. Napkins, my guy, where you been? You've
Hang on a second. Hey, can we pause for a minute? How come when they're addressing me, it's always like, okay, you're a jerk. You're doing all this. And then you get one addressed, and it's like, hey, bro, we love you.
it's
Where
just
you
like
been?
the other night when we played League
How you
with
feeling,
Cal,
man?
and all you said to that guy was, "Dude, talk to the other teammate who's not buying items, and then we'll have a conversation." And then you got banned from chat.
Immediately.
But he says, Napkins, my guy, where you been? You have always been on the show, but haven't really seemed to be on the show, you know? My question, though,
Hashtag
is...
felt that.
Called
I
out.
feel like every question you get is along this.
Yeah, especially the end of this. My question, though, is I noticed that you don't seem to give a whole lot of answer whenever it comes to the faith stuff. Is that intentional?
Ooh,
And
called out.
here's what I'm going to say about this. And I've said this several times. All of us, all four of us, were raised in the same church with the same core beliefs. So a lot of the times I go last to answer questions because I have so much going on in the background. If all these other guys has already said my thoughts and my opinions and I feel I have nothing else to add, I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to say they pretty much hit it nail on the head and then move on, especially on days that we have a whole lot of questions to get through. It's not that I'm intentionally avoiding answering something. It's just that I feel that I have nothing else to add to that topic.
When Napkins gets offended, I think we need a picture of a crumpled napkin. Post in the chat. Disgruntled napkin.
I'm still waiting on the hate mail aimed at Medic's wifey as well.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
Uh-oh.
Me too.
Next question from Anonymous,
Anonymous.
which I'm going to name Jealous, who listens from Canada on Spotify. And they say, do you think it is okay for a spouse to like other women/men's photos on Facebook? Do you think it's disrespectful in general? Also, do you agree with a spouse sending inappropriate text but say it was just a joke when confronted about it, like it wasn't a big deal to them? I have a friend going through this, and the spouse has convinced them that they are just jealous and it is nothing to worry about.
That's
Have you ever
called
dealt with
gaslighting.
a have you ever dealt with a situation like this? I need advice for my friend.
Hashtag for the streets.
Well, I was married in that situation, so
Taco was married to your friend.
basically, for me, the way it came about was I
Preach,
couldn't
Mander,
speak to
preach.
anyone who wasn't directly blood related, or I was, trying to cheat or go outside the marriage. It didn't matter if it was somebody I'd known for 20 years or somebody that I just had met that day and said hello as I walked past them or something. That's always what it was. It didn't matter man or woman or anything. I think it's a fine line for married couples as far as commenting, liking, or talking to others on social media or whatever. They have to watch what they're actually saying to one another. They have to watch how they're saying things too. Because a joke is one thing, but sometimes a joke can be pushing way too far past being just a simple joke. It could have a kernel of truth to it. So I definitely think it needs to be reevaluated on the context of things that are being said and how they're being said. Uh, whether the liking of photos seems to be a very generalized thing across multiple different people's stuff and a wide variety of what they're posting, or are they only liking on content that could be viewed as a little bit inappropriate for them to be looking at in the first place?
So here's my thing. Um, One, if you want to look at this from a biblical side of it, even looking at somebody else is considered adultery in his eyes.
Yep.
Right.
Even if you don't want to look at this from a biblical side, when me and my wife first started dating and talking, we wasn't in church at the moment, and like there was somebody on my Facebook or something, and she was like, "You have that person on your Facebook," and I was like, "Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't talk to them. There's a friend on Facebook." Here's my thing. I found somebody that I'm in a relationship with. I don't need anybody else. If she asked me to remove anybody from Facebook, Snapchat, blah blah, gone. My Snapchat, besides like family members that are female, is all friends, all dudes. Like I don't need other women to talk to. I have somebody that I want to be with, that I'm committed to. And whenever you were talking to other people just as friends, you're opening doorways. When you're liking other pictures that are not your spouse or whatever, you were not only is that a slap in the face to who you're with and is extremely disrespectful, um, you have crossed the lines of what your spouse should mean to you, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I think it's a respect thing. You know, you and just like you were saying, Medic. You know, if you are truly in love with your spouse, then why are you even giving opportunity for somebody to whether you reciprocate their feelings or not? Why would you give them an opportunity to say, "Oh, I think they," because they can perceive something even if you mean it innocently.
Right.
So there, you don't even give them something to play with. Don't even give the enemy room to work with. And that's something me and my wife we learned early on in ministry that in order to remove any way for the enemy to um, spread gossip or to plant false narratives and things. Anytime we have to if we had to counsel somebody or uh, speak with somebody of the opposite sex, we always make sure that the other one is included. Um, and we simply do that out of respect, and two, to keep ourselves covered. That way, if some because people are crazy,
Yes.
they'll make up stuff. I mean, we've literally had to get uh, uh, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, we've literally had to get somebody pulled out of a meeting because they were stalking us. And the whole thing, before it even escalated to that point, we were in a church. This girl had followed us all over the state of Ohio. Like she would get a bus. She couldn't drive. She'd get a bus or she'd get a ride, show up at every church we were in. And I told Mander, I said, she's off. There is something wrong with her. She got the devil in her. And, Amanda was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, and she was like, no, I think she's just, and I was like, mm. Well, then lo and behold, come to find out, she had ulterior motives, but she wanted, we were in a service, and she wanted a picture, and I said, yeah, we can take a picture. And I got Manda up with me, and I put Manda in between me and this girl, and she got mad and threw an absolute fit because Manda was in the picture. And we just told her, we said, look, we don't do stuff like that, because if you start, if I was to take a picture with you and you post it online, that's going to give the wrong impression to other people. And, I want people to understand that, when me and my wife entered into a covenant together, I took that seriously.
Right.
And I think that's part of the problem is people have watered down what the covenant of marriage is so much
Marriage is
that
just
you
a
have,
piece of paper to anybody now.
right? And so you have these people who like to gaslight everybody, um, and they want to, they want to say, well, you're just jealous. You won't let me be me. Okay, first of all, that's your spouse. If that's hurting them, why would you not willingly say, okay, look, I didn't realize that was upsetting you. I won't do that. I won't talk to them. I won't go there. I don't know.
If staying friends with that person and being able to like their pictures is more important to you than the feelings of your spouse, you have a problem.
Yeah, there's bigger problems going on.
Yeah, in case it wasn't clear when I was talking with my ex, it was fine for her to do all that stuff. But if I, you know, message somebody that I've known for 10 years, just being like, hey, how you doing? Saw your post on Facebook, worried about you and your family. Now I'm trying to cheat. That was the issue I was dealing with.
Catch up on chat. Mander says, in all seriousness, super disrespectful, not okay at all. A lot of times boundaries are crossed and trust is lost. That rhymed. I liked it. The wife says, let me throw this out there. If it comes to a point that I ask him to remove someone, there's a reason. The person had ulterior motives long time ago. Mander says, first of all, you ain't taking a picture with another woman. Last time they tried to stabby stab, so we don't do that no more, huh?
All right. So before I give my 2 cents, I'm first going to say I apologize for the name I gave you because all I read was the first sentence and jumped to a sentence. So sorry.
I was wondering if he was going to catch that.
Secondly, so here's my thing. Whenever me and my soon-to-be ex-wife first separated, before she thought I was being serious, that I was done, and I changed my profile picture, that is the very first message I got. Such and such liked your profile picture. Who's that? Your new woman? I'm just saying, people look into stuff like that.
They do.
Now, am I saying that you should never ever like somebody's picture? No, I'm not going to say that, because if it's something like somebody, at a graduation or something and you like a picture, that's different, in my opinion. But as far as like the inappropriate text and claiming it was a joke, no, that's completely uncalled
Yeah,
for.
that's
Yeah, you're
Or
getting
if
played.
you're liking every single Instagram post by somebody, or liking every single picture that they put on Facebook,
They
obviously
have your
you have an
attention.
attraction.
Yeah, they have your attention for a reason.
There's definitely more going on
well.
there.
Get the organ out.
At the same time, just like everybody else mentioned, if this is your spouse and you go to them and say, this person makes me feel uncomfortable, and they don't respect you enough to say, okay, then they're out, obviously there is something else going on.
Yep.
Hashtag for the streets.
Well, who was the one that submitted a question to you?
To who, me?
Yeah, was that Travis? Adam?
Yes.
Travis? Listen, Travis, you want to get Napkins talking? Throw relationship questions. He gets fired up.
Okay. Next one comes from
Oh, is this the hate mail?
No, we just now got a new submission, and I seen the name in the first the first sentence, and it's I feel like it's going somewhere.
Mander
Anyway,
says also when another woman minister messages your husband and asks him and only him to go to Africa with her.
Yeah, that's awkward too.
okay, so
That
this
sounds
next one's
very awkward.
from X-Men 74. They listen from Illinois on Spotify, and they address this to everyone. And they say, "Hey fellers, what are your thoughts on playing video games that aren't faith-based or Christian friendly, same as movies and TV shows, or different?"
I know how to feed children too, ma'am.
Guess
Sorry, I was.
Mander's a little fired up.
Mander's a mess. I love her so much. She's funny.
We've mentioned it before on the show as far as games. I think, yeah, there's to me, knowing that a video game is just a game and not taking everything so serious to, like, I've heard all the stories about people that are like so addicted to WoW, and I mean they think that they're a wizard and all kinds of things. I think there's wisdom and knowledge that comes with a lot of things, and knowing that something is just a video game and playing it as that. It's a video game. It's no different than playing like Mario and just trying to beat the levels and things. I do think that it is different when it comes to TV and movies in a way, because a lot of things with TV and movies, they have a different way of grasping a hold of you. And I think a lot of it comes back to what you put in is what shows out. And when you're so caught up in watching a lot of straight filth, I think a lot of that shows back on how you conduct yourself.
Right. Like, I would caution everyone, no matter what it is you're watching, if it feels like you have to sit and watch and watch and watch, you might want to step away from it, no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's The Chosen, if it's Batman the Animated Series, or if it's something from Disney or Star Wars. If it's got a hold on you that you feel like you can't turn away, quit watching it.
Right.
If you're binge watching stuff where all they're doing is cussing every single breath and it's filled with drugs and alcoholism and sex and all that, guess what? Your thoughts are going to start turning to that. If you're binge watching anything, it's going to start to affect how you think and what you're thinking about. So, yeah, that's where discernment and wisdom comes into play. You have to know when you're doing too much of one thing or when something is not going to be healthy for you.
Moonpie.
What was the question?
Thoughts on non Christian
Oh,
friendly
yeah.
media?
So we in our little family, we don't listen to any music that has any type of vulgarity in it. In fact, we strictly stick to Christian music. Every now and then, I may get a hankering for some instrumental like blues or jazz. But other than that, we're pretty strict about that. Just because, one, with the music thing, you know, Lucifer used to be the conductor of worship in the courts of heaven.
Yeah.
So he is very manipulative, and that's why music is so crucial. Um, because they whether people want to believe it or not, they do use witchcraft in the music industry. They use it in songs, and it can get a hold of somebody. The more that you listen to it, and then you begin to sing it, and then you're speaking that over yourself, and so we try to be very mindful of that. And then as far as TV and stuff goes, obviously we're not out here watching uh, filth. We did, like I said, we did watch Brave New World last night. Had some language in it. We explained to our boys when they hear those words, they know, hey, um, we're not listening to this. We're gonna plug our ears. Um, and I think, kind of like Taco was saying, anything that you're watching or doing, if it gets to the point where you can't go without it, that's where your bigger problem is. And of course, obviously, we know there's stuff that um, you can't say. You can't say, oh well, it's okay to go out here and watch porn because I only watched one episode or whatever. That is never okay, because then you're not just talking about discrepancies between what you think might be okay and might not. Then you're getting into lust, you're getting into adultery, and then when you take things like that and you set it, uh, like Taco said, you set it at a place in your life where you have to have it. Then it becomes an idol, and anything that's an idol in our life is a problem, regardless of what it is. And so I think it just depends. As far as video games go, like I said, I've been hooked on the Ghost of Tsushima. It's got some graphic fight scenes where, I've chopped several people's heads off with my samurai sword. I usually play it, if I'm not wearing headphones, I play it with the volume turned all the way down and the subtitles on, just so I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Um, just because it does have some a few words in it. It's actually not near as bad as
Some other stuff out there.
yeah. Like I started playing that Warhammer demo, and I was like 5 minutes in and was like, oh my gosh, I gotta mute this.
Hey there, Ryan Liv. Good to see you on TikTok. He says, "What's good, squad?"
Not too
So,
much. Answering Quester's questions.
Quester's question. It's questions.
I mean, I pretty much agree with what everybody has already said, as far as being able to differentiate, especially on the video games, of it being a game, but also to use wisdom. Um, but one of the things I wanted to mention specifically that I realized myself, and this Moonpie already kind of touched on it. A lot of the songs I used to listen to was um, the more kind of sad songs and stuff, and I realized that if I would listen to those, it would put me almost into a depressive state, and I had to quit listening to those because it was bringing me down so much, and it was putting that mindset in the back of my head without me even realizing it. So, and again, I feel like that comes back to using wisdom. If you catch things that are putting you in a mindset that you shouldn't be in as a Christian, then obviously cut those out.
Huh, Medic. I seem to recall you giving him very similar advice not too long ago about the music he was listening to.
Mm-hmm.
This next one comes from Not a Fan,
Oh,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
and it is addressed to McMedic,
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
and they listen from Tennessee on Spotify.
There's something about that state today, I tell you what.
And this is technically addressed to you and your wife.
Okay, let's hear it.
And it says, I've been
It's in the
watching some
water
of
at
your
Rocky Top.
streams, and your wife seems to hinder the team. Does that bother you? Also, does she not have responsibilities at home to do instead of gaming? Like get up and clean or something instead of wasting hours playing a
Daggone.
video game?
This sounds like a
Does she
troll.
not have hobbies or children to care for?
Oh
yeah, this has got
my
to be a troll. 'Cause
gosh.
Well, first of all,
Well, they're from Tennessee.
she does not hinder
I
the
think it was
team.
Stephanie.
Um,
she's our biggest cheerleader, quite literally.
to be honest with you, no offense, dudes, but my wife is my best teammate and everything. Haters gonna hate. You're right, wife. As far as does she not have duties to do? Every adult has things that they should probably get up and do. But if she wants to
Right.
relax and play some games, she can relax and play games. Maybe that is her hobby. Whether you have that hobby or not, don't really care. She is like Wonder Woman. She goes to work. She puts everything she can into her job. When she's home, she she makes sure everybody's fed. She makes sure that she's doing things around the house when I'm too lazy to get off my hind end and go do stuff. Um, it is what it is.
15,
She.
20.
Thank you, Mander. Um, I don't understand.
Medic, you are popular because this next one is also hate mail that was just submitted for you.
I don't really get.
Oh my
I guess
gosh.
my thing is I don't really get what is the problem with her wanting to game? It's no different than me wanting to game.
Yeah.
I feel like you're borderline on the sexist thing right there. So I don't know
Misogynistic.
if she's gaming and you don't want to watch the stream because she's on the stream with me, don't watch it. I guess I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, I've got to say, some of the most entertaining streams and moments gaming together have been when she's joined us.
Right?
Because there are times where she'll either pop off and carry us, or she'll make some of the craziest decisions that make no sense and then wonder why we lost. You never
Okay.
know, and it makes it entertaining.
All right, let's hear it.
This one just came in.
Is it from Tennessee too?
No.
Oh,
Well, possibly. It don't say where it's from.
most likely. Let's go.
It's addressed to McMedic, and
What's the name?
The name they put in was jealous, and
Gotcha.
they say your wife watches.
Hang
your
on. The wife
Facebook."
says not a fan. Get over yourself. I get my crap done and take care of my family. Yes, some things might get behind. My sanity is more important. If I want to take a minute, I will. The stuff will be there when I get done. Gaming also gives me the opportunity to also spend time with my bro/hubby on a different level as well.
Mic drop.
Hashtag mic drop.
All right, so
I'm just
jealous.
saying, it's totally possible because Ander plays Fortnite and still gets all the boys' school done and everything. So
Wait, what do you mean Mander plays Fortnite? She doesn't just clean the RV for you?
that's all she does. She wears rags and she cleans the RV day and night. All
She
she's
whistles
allowed
to
do.
birds and they help her clean.
All right, let's hear what Jealous has got to say.
They say your wife watches your Facebook to see if you have certain people on there as friends. Does she control you?
No, that was the last marriage I was controlled. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Um,
wouldn't say this is hate mail so much as misunderstanding.
Yeah.
This point of view.
Or so
What
is
I
the
meant by
Discord.
that was like, so me and my wife knew each other in high school as well. So there's a lot of like common friends that showed up on Facebook when we started talking and things, and it wasn't like we started talking today and she was like, "Well, I noticed this person's on your Facebook. You need to delete him. This person's on your Facebook. You need to delete him." Blah 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 blah. No. When me and my wife was actually getting kind of serious with things, um, there was some people that had alternative motives that went maybe try to message or she had noticed that they had posted something that was inappropriate to say that was being posted, and then we had a discussion because I was the same way. I noticed people that was on her Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, so you're friends with them?" She was like, "No, they're just on there. I can remove them. I don't care." Type deal. It wasn't like she was telling me what I can and can't do. It was more of she had concerns, and I was like, "Well, I'd rather just remove them." Like, if
Right.
there was anybody that she went through my Facebook and was like, you don't need this person or this person on your Facebook, you know what? I'm still going to remove them.
Yeah,
You have to understand, like, the way I view my structure in life is God comes first, then my wife comes next, and her happiness is what comes, and then my kids come. There is a order that I try and view things and conduct myself in.
right. To add to that, I've been on the receiving end of you see things on Facebook with your spouse that you're like, hey, this is kind of inappropriate. I don't agree with this, and they completely ignore you, and they're like, well, no, you're just trying to control me. And then it turns out later, oh no, you were completely right to feel like things were inappropriate there.
This episode's been spicy.
So
We love
this
the hate mail.
Commander
this
said I
next
need the
one,
birds to help me clean.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This next one's gonna be awkward,
Uh-oh.
but we
No
always
cap.
said from the beginning, real, raw, unedited, and whatever they wanted to submit, we would read and answer.
Oh,
Okay.
gosh.
This comes from Out of the Box, and they did not say which platform they listen to us on. They are from Massachusetts.
That's right, Faith. No cap.
Is that our first one for Massachusetts?
Yes,
Cool.
and they address
That's a
this to everyone.
long way away.
The wife says absolutely not. I've never even looked at his phone to find anything. I don't have time for that. I don't babysit him. I traveled for 3 years and never checked his phone. It's called communication. I have zero worries about him cheating. He is a good-looking man, so there's opportunity, but I don't worry. Ain't nobody got time for that. Oh, she thinks I'm good-looking.
All right, so Out of the Box says, I'm not putting my real name or gamer tag because, well, this question is personal.
Okay.
I am a Christian and so is my wife, but
Mm-hmm.
we struggle with sexual things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, would God approve of this in the bedroom? I guess what I'm asking is, are there limitations in the bedroom as a Christian?
Well, technically, yeah, the Bible outlines some things that are considered sinful, regardless of whether it's in a marriage or not.
Truth. Don't be pulling no animals in the bedroom.
Uh,
I don't know how weird y'all make it, but I want you to know.
the easiest way to keep this, still completely PG and family friendly is just to say definitely do some research on your own regarding that as far as what the Bible says. Because the Old Testament, when God gave the law to Moses, outlines some things, and then Paul reiterates quite a bit of it when he starts writing to the different churches, calling them out for practices that are immoral in God's eyes.
Also,
Yeah.
I'm
Fixing
just
my
gonna
headset.
say,
Y'all keep going.
you know, like Taco said, do your own research, but also, if you are feeling convicted to the point where you have to ask yourself, would God be okay with this in the bedroom?
Right?
Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say, definitely, like Taco said, I think it's important to do your research. The Bible does, does line some things out there for us, and and two, while we're on the topic, that that's um, that's something Paul makes clear in, I believe it's First Corinthians chapter 7, that the bedroom is a place um, where the husband and wife, they share a bond that is unlike anything else, and it's not something to be taken lightly. It's not something to be used as warfare. Thank you, Paul. Um, but it's a time, because what the whole marriage covenant represents is the covenant between God and His creation, and so that time of intimacy is the ultimate uh, fulfillment of covenant. I mean, you cannot be closer to your spouse in that moment, emotionally, spiritually, physically. In fact, we could get into a whole thing about soul ties, but uh, anywho, so yeah, I think definitely keep it biblical, and that's all I'm going to say on that.
This might be a topic that we'll approach again on the other
Faith show.
show when we can go more in depth with it and everything else.
Well, I will say, I don't know exactly all the verses that the Bible lays out for that topic. But I will say, from my point of view, I think what happens in the bedroom, that is a gift between you and your wife. Hint, as in, There shouldn't be other people involved. Should be a common sense thing. And then I will say, as when it comes to those things, one, communication is key. And I think if you both aren't on board, then on whatever it is, then one, that should be a no. I think that's extremely important. And then two, I think whenever like they mentioned, when you're having to ask, is this okay? Is that okay? Then you're asking because you're feeling some type of conviction over something, which should be a no.
Red flag there.
Yeah, that kind of throws a red flag. And then at the same time, I do think when it comes to those things, in my opinion, it's kind of like when you're viewing like the worship thing. Obviously, we learned this episode. Not a lot of people agree with how I view the worship thing. Sorry. But I also think when it comes to those things, as far as the bedroom and things, that is a thing that is between you, your spouse, and God. That is a private time between you and your spouse, and as long as you're not doing obvious things, as for example bringing other people in, because then you're breaking a lot of things compared to as in lust and adultery and things, because like we mentioned earlier, when you just look at somebody in one way, you're committing adultery in his eyes. So I think you have to use common sense when it comes to those things, but also do think that a lot of it falls into not everybody's going to agree on the same things when it comes to that topic.
Avian says, I've seen this going a way different route. Kudos, you guys handled it professionally and respectfully.
Yeah, that's right. We professional.
All right. And that wraps up
Me again,
Questers'
Margaret.
questions.
What a way to end it. Oh, that's interesting. Ads are going to replay in 40 seconds if you need to get you an ad ready, Napkins. Did you say a live chicken and a weed eater?
Is that you, Margaret?
Me again, Margaret.
I know it's you, Margaret.
I like when he calls on the little phone and he does a little noise. He's like,
Oh, by the way, randomly, I know it's not the same person, but I saw that Mark Lowry was going to be in Pikeville or somewhere.
what?
Yeah.
When?
Kind of like to go.
I don't remember.
Angry Vet has an announcement.
Oh, what's the announcement? This has been an interesting episode. We've been all over the place. Ads are playing, sir.
The anticipation is killing me.
The anticipation.
Oh, did I tell you guys? We have been invited to bring our ministry to television.
No, but we learned that you got invited to go to Africa without your wife.
Yeah, that was weird. That was like 2 years ago, and which the lady's husband was there too. They live there full time, but it was still awkward. Like, I don't
What was
know.
their reasoning for only you?
They never said. They didn't specifically say only me. It was just, well, I guess they kind of did in the message. They were like, we want to ask you to come to Africa. I don't know. It was weird.
No
Oh,
way.
weird.
No way. Chad finally agreed to go with us to Easter Sunday service and gave his heart to God.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Does that mean you got to change his little thing from daggone Chad to converted Chad?
Converted Chad.
Well, holy Chad.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
That's amazing news.
It is amazing. That's absolutely. The angels in heaven rejoice.
Straight up. Was the anticipation worth it, Napkins?
Yes, it was.
Sweet.
Okay, ads are over now. The one thing that I wanted to wait till after the questions and bring up, and then I said we'd probably end up touching back on that one question that I cannot remember now. So we have finally agreed on a name, I believe, for the faith-based show. Correct?
I believe so.
Beyond the
Last I read.
brokenness.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
So here's what I was wanting to talk about, and one of the questions kind of touched on it was for the first episode on where you guys kind of wanted to go with it.
Oh, I was waiting on the question.
No, there was already a question asked for ideas, so
Oh. Me.
we still haven't really figured out like if this is gonna be like a weekly show, like every other week.
One thing I will say, I feel like completely opposite of this show with the faith-based one, we will definitely need to sit down and kind of brainstorm and have some sort of itinerary.
Right.
Yeah. Well, especially too, if we're gonna do like a, you know, kind of more like a Bible study or something like that, I think it's important too to, you know, not go in, blindfolded, and go in with context, go in with understanding,
All right.
and vet all the haters. I'm just kidding.
And then
As they say, have our receipts on hand with
Yeah, there you go.
why we believe what we believe, or why we are telling them this is what the Bible is saying and why.
also had an idea. So during the faith-based show, I would like to do kind of like on here. We have questions, right? That's one segment that we always usually try and hit as long as we have questions. So I was thinking maybe we could have one segment on that show because Moonpie has mentioned before of wanting to try and get something going to where he can do it. And I was thinking maybe if he was interested on the show, we could have a segment where he gets a chance to talk about how biblical things are happening in today's times and how it relates. I don't know what he said there. But I was thinking
subscribers only.
But I was thinking that would be a good chance and a good time to be able to try and do things like that. As far as some other things to like topics or maybe ideas to try and get into, I was thinking we could try and do one on tips on like how to help, maybe like how to read the Bible. Like a lot of people don't really get into reading the Bible because they think it's boring. So maybe do one on ways to kind of help with that.
That'd be cool. I see Mander said let people know ahead of time so they can read beforehand too. I think that'd be good. Like if we know that a certain week we're going on a specific topic,
Right.
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I definitely think it'd be best to be able to end each episode with, and next week we're going to examine this subject or that subject. That way they've got a full week. They can do their own homework if they'd like or whatever, and that gives us a full week to do our own research and everything.
I like it.
So we need to pick our first topic.
From Chad.
we'll do on the
Napkins,
very
I talked to you a
first
little about what truly opened my eyes. I used to be hardcore unbeliever. You can share if you want. The wife said, also feeling overwhelmed with reading the Bible, breaking down into how to study topics. Napkins, do you have something to share?
I gotta get some clarification on something real quick on if I can share everything.
I heard share away.
We could
Spill all the secrets.
the first episode, dive into methods that can help with studying the Bible and reading it and everything.
And another one, I had
Okay.
somebody randomly send me a whisper.
$100.
No, I did not get $100 sent to me, sadly. It was a whisper on Twitch, and I can't find it now. But it was an idea for the faith-based show of doing exactly what the Bible. What is the Bible? Like, what is it supposed to be for us besides just old stories? And breaking down exactly how to apply it and things for your life.
Right, right. I get what they're coming from with that. That's a pretty good one too.
Okay.
Either of
Yeah.
those would make a great first episode to kind of set the stage.
Let's hear it,
So
Napkins.
I'm told I can share everything. So this is going to be a lot. Just I'm going to try and keep it going. Anywho, so everybody
Roll.
knows Angry Vet Nation had a fire recently.
Yes.
The night of the fire, me and my mom and my dad, um, aka Nan and Peepaw, we all went to the living room and we joined hands and we prayed. And I'm gonna get emotional just talking about this.
Them onions.
Mom had told me, she said, I really feel like that this is going to be a big eye opener, especially for Chad. She said, I don't know why. And she had no idea.
Ooh.
And she said, I don't know why. She said, but this is going to be a really, really big eye opener specifically for him. And he was talking to me afterwards and he was like, dude, vet is stressed. I don't know what we're going to do. This was, money that we didn't have in the budget. And he told me that the vet and their pastor was coming down the next day with the volunteers to help them clean up and everything. This was the night of the fire. And the next day, whenever they all came out, they all prayed before they started doing anything. And the pastor looked at Vet and told him, God's going to give you better. And to just trust him. And Chad said that he got physically upset, I guess, just by the faith coming from an unbeliever.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of walked away from the situation. And the vet got the idea to send out a bid request, an urgent bid request to every contact in his email contacts, every one of them. Some of these companies he had went to whenever he started Angry Vet Nation and tried to get partnerships with them, and they flat out refused. And he did not go into detail as far as them having a fire. All it says urgent need. Angry Vet Nation is accepting bid requests for the following items. We'll pay extra if work can be started and completed by the end of the week. He sent that email out at 3:30. At 4:45, he sent a follow-up email that all the bids had been closed. Every need that they had been met.
Amen.
And Chad went to Vet and started asking him, how did we get all these? Especially 90% of it to 95% of it was donated or heavily
Wow.
discounted. And if it wasn't, they were getting donations left and right. Just people saying, I don't know why, but I feel to give you this money. All said and done. And Chad said this is really what got him thinking. I'm trying to pull it up. All said and done, the total cost, if they would have had to have paid out of pocket, was over $200,000.
Wow.
The total amount that they had to pay out of pocket was $1,098.26.
Look at God.
It's one of them show off moments.
And Chad said whenever they were all there, and Vet went to the pastor and told the pastor, said, this is the numbers, we just got it in. And the pastor just looked at him and said, I told you, and it's going to be better than what you had before. And
Awesome.
Chad said that's what got him thinking, and ultimately that's what got him to go to Sunday morning service.
Won't he do it?
You totally echoed behind you.
Yeah, I know. I forgot that this room echoes. That's so amazing.
I just had to make sure it was okay that I said the numbers and all that stuff. That's what I was checking on.
Look at God. That's awesome.
And
That's amazing news.
on top of that, I'm not going to mention the name, but they also got a sponsorship from one of the biggest gaming computer companies in the world.
Yep.
Alienware.
No.
No, I was just asking.
Yeah, it's a bit early. We're not allowed to really talk about it yet, but it's mind blowing that out of the blue they would do that.
And just to give you an
Do we have
idea,
that pastor's contact?
just to give you an idea, one of the just one of the donations that was made, and most of these was made by that company that agreed to go in partnership with them, was just, and this, like I said, just to give you an idea of some of the stuff they donated. They donated 72 24-inch monitors, brand new.
Yeah.
Like I've been saying, I've been telling Vet for, I don't know, man, it's been what, like the past year or something.
Yeah, pretty much ever
if
since.
we've reached out, if we've had to reach out or anything through emails or anything for updates, or like when the nation first started trying to get some funds going and things, from the whole time of it, I was like, listen, we're gonna be praying, and we praise God if it happens. If not, we praise Him anyway, and we keep grinding. Like, you praise Him in the good times and in the bad times, and God always excels our expectations in everything.
Yeah, as Vet says, and it was all completed within a week's time, even with them remodeling a lot
That's
of
awesome.
their office. And Medic's wifey, we also have backdrop coming in for Medic.
Yes.
We kind of took over
I
his
can.
streaming.
Yes, I can get. You will not see this.
No, pretty much ever since Vet started working with us at Slim Chance and everything, and took me from literally playing on my TV to having a full setup. It's been us telling him this kind of stuff, so it's really amazing and wonderful to see God actually pay it off in a massive way that can open the eyes of those around Vet as well.
Man.
Any last things on the brains, fellers? We didn't expect it, but we told the contracting company our deadline, and they said no problem. We'll set up a day shift and night shift. We had contractors here 24/7. Yeah, there was one night we were streaming. He had 70 people still at his office working.
Holy cow.
Yeah, they put in work.
That's awesome.
I'm just randomly going to throw out, I've actually enjoyed their new program of how they evaluate the groups they work with and stuff. I've enjoyed the feedback and everything.
Any last things on the brain? Taco.
Nope.
Moonpie.
Yeah, so like I was saying, we have an opportunity presented to us. There's a new Christian broadcasting network that's got started that's it's going to be kind of like a TBN, kind of like a Daystar type thing. They've already started to grow pretty heavily, and they're being backed by like Perry Stone's ministry and Dr. Tim Hill, and so anyway, they have offered us. They said that if we are interested, they can give us a discounted slot. It would be like $150 a week, and we can choose anything from like 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. before they would have to go up in the price. But even the evening time slot was heavily discounted, but it's still, it was like $300 a week, and that's just crazy to me. But so I was thinking if it's something we wind up doing, maybe we could use some of the Beyond the Brokenness episodes um,
to
for
fill
that.
the slot.
Yeah. So just a possibility. And as far as Awake in the Mountains go, I just seen McMedic's wife post. As far as Awake in the Mountains go, so I did reach out and speak with Pastor Lois and Stoney to see if how bad of an interference it would be to set the tent up there. And Lois doesn't believe that it would cause an issue, even if they start the building process. She thinks we would have enough room. My only thing is if they're building and we put the tent there, I'm more concerned with, you know, Joe Bubby running around the tent or something and running onto construction equipment or something and hurting himself.
Right.
Let me
So,
ask you a question, Moonpie. Did you ever get a hold of the guy, or would you still consider that property off of 23? I mean 80
oh,
and Garrett.
I never did get a hold of the guy. I was still wanting to hear back from him and never did hear anything. So,
The reason I'm asking is because they have been there the past 2 weeks, like planting
mhm.
small trees and stuff. So if you're still interested, worst case scenario, if they're there, I'll just pull in and be like, "Hey, Bubby."
Hi,
Yeah,
Bubby.
if you could,
Them
that would
good
be great.
people.
Yeah, it would be a great location to host it.
I know. I had talked to the person I had talked to never did get back with me. Somebody told me, they said, well, that's used as the landing zone for Floyd County, and I'm like, okay, well, they don't land every day. That's in case of an emergency, but
And
and there would still
the
be plenty of room. I mean, if it was needed, and there's also other places they could land. So
yeah, I'm kind of confused by that because if it's the area I'm thinking of, it's not used for that at
It is
all.
a landing zone.
Yeah,
yeah,
it
they
isn't
they
the
just
official
yeah
landing zone.
they made it one not too long ago. They
Because
put
for
like
some
signs up.
reason the Garrett Park can no longer be a landing zone. They moved it there.
Yeah, but my
That
thing
was going to be
is
my follow-up question. What about somewhere like the park?
well, the only thing is if it floods, I don't know how we would get the tent out in time. That's the only reason I was kind of staying away from Garrett Park, just because the weather has been so insane.
True.
Speaking of insane, um, last thing I'll say, and then I'll shut up. So with the Pope passing away, um, it puts some people in line, to be the next Pope.
Yeah,
The
they have
Pope,
to do their conclave
and
and vote a new
uh,
one in.
so I'm in line. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
You didn't know this, but all along I've been a Catholic bishop.
there's
Oh,
there was a prophecy given. Um, I can't remember the dates exactly. I'd have to go back and look it up. But part of this prophecy is they said that the final pope, who they believe would also be a mouthpiece for the dragon in the end times, the final pope's name would be, they called him Peter the Roman. Well, one of the guys who is a top candidate to take the place of the pope is Pietro. I think he's like the Secretary of State or something for the Catholic Church. Anyway, he's literally uh, Pietro something with a C of uh, Italy, or AKA Peter of Rome, Peter the
Mm,
Roman. Anyway, I just think it's interesting. I'm not saying that he is,
it's
just saying it's a
interesting, but
possibility.
for whatever reason, the Catholic Church has a history of once they're elected as the new pope, they change their name entirely. Like, I don't think there's ever been a pope who left their name the same.
Really?
Yeah, that's why this previous one, Pope Francis, that was not his actual name when he was elected pope.
Pietro Parolin, that's that guy's name.
Yeah, I don't know why they do it, but they do. Once they are elected pope, they change the name, I guess, to be in line with pope-like names or whatever.
Pope-like names.
Yeah, I don't know that there's been many that have actually used the name Peter when they've changed the name, where their tradition holds that Peter was the first pope in the first place.
Well, he is officially considered the top contender to succeed Pope Francis. Pietro Parolin. He is from Italy. He's regarded as one of the more moderate contenders to take over as the head of the Catholic Church.
Mander says also we'll have to be able to park our camper there possibly so we can watch our stuff. Mario says, do you all have a generator? Because I don't think that lot has power. Do we have a generator? She says.
Yeah, we do. It's not a big generator, but we got one.
I had sent a message to the other place to try and find out for you. You never sent me the details.
June the 1st through the 7th, 7 p.m. nightly.
June 1st through the 7th?
Mm-hmm. I think. Mander, is that the right dates? I believe it's the 1st through the 7th, 7 p.m. nightly. Oh, yeah. Are you crying, Napkins?
No, I'm just tired.
You gotta wake up.
What are you talking about? He's going to go to
I like
bed.
your little
I
glowing
remember
microphone.
he told us beforehand that he had a meeting after.
Oh,
I got a doctor's appointment and then a meeting.
busy man.
Manders
Yes, June
busy,
1st through the
busy.
7th. Gotcha. I will try and
7
reach
p.m.
out
nightly.
back to those people and see what they say. If I hear anything,
Okay.
I'll let you know.
And, if we have to, we can bring our own sound system and instruments and stuff. We don't have to touch anything of the
Location.
churches.
Are you preferably wanting to use the tent, or are you looking for inside this year?
I don't know. See, I'm torn. Like, I love the tent. I love the atmosphere under the tent. My only thing is with all of the flooding that has hit that area this year, I'm concerned. I don't want to put the tent up and then have it destroyed because it's like a $12,000 tent.
Well, I mean, you got not only the flooding that hit, but for some reason, like the wind lately has just been
I know.
nonstop
What's up with
crazy, and
that? How do you get wind down in the mountains?
it's ridiculous. I tell you that. All right.
Man.
We will keep everybody updated on the Awaken the Mountains best we can.
Yep.
Don't forget to check out davis-ministries.com. Look up Davis Ministries on Facebook. Slim Chance Gaming Crew on YouTube. All the things, beyondthequest.com. Join our Discord.
And I'm assuming it will go to the Facebook and the website and everything once we all decide when we're going to start Beyond the Brokenness.
Yep.
Yeah, once we nail down all the final details.
Yeah,
Commander
we'll
said preferably inside.
Okay.
we'll decide on what the first episode's topic will actually be. We'll make an announcement of when we're starting and what that topic is, so those who want to join us live can be prepared ahead of time.
Oh,
And if you're in
final announcement.
Oklahoma,
We now officially have a way for our viewers to submit questions to Moonpie on the website.
Oh! Moonpie got his own spot. Don't you feel special?
I do. I feel mediocre.
If you're in Oklahoma, what was you saying?
We are in revival. So,
Revival?
yeah, to
Just
all you Oklahomans.
Anywhere in the state, they're there.
Yeah, we're in Claremore, Oklahoma, which is near Tulsa. So,
Which is not Eastern time, in case you were wondering.
no, it's not. I
Oh,
think it's Central Time.
I don't
It's
know.
10:30 for me right now.
Anybody else got anything on the brain?
Well, I don't. Taco?
Nope.
Moonpie.
Marsupial
Napkins.
army.
Nope.
All right. I will say that I've enjoyed the episode, even with the random hate and off the wall questions and things. We're here for it all.
Embrace the hate.
I'm extremely excited and thank God for the news about Chad. It's made my
Yes.
morning,
Hallelujah.
like Moonpie said.
Made
Hallelujah.
my day.
Hallelujah.
Because I heard that Chad got saved.
Chad just got his own little improv song. Chad.
Don't forget, if anybody catches Taco streaming, get on there, watch him, help him hit affiliate so we can get that goal and get Moonpie to sing Timo Christmas.
And one day I'll learn how to stream.
He says. Till next time. Love y'all. Jesus loves you more. Bye!
From the first light to the game's last stand, we're chasing truth with controller in hand. Faith, adventure, stories untold. First responder, hearts brave and bold. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chop's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the journeys meet, from the fires of life to the gaming heat. Slim Chop's crew, come join the ride, with McMedic, Napkins, and Taco as your guide. Beyond the quest, where the stories grow, faith, fire, and games in the world we know. Adventure calls, the table is set, let's take the leap, our best quest yet.